Hey everyone, Nerdy checking in for another episode. Today we are actually not on my Let's Play world. We are in a completely different instance of Minecraft 1.12.2, and we are in the Forge Loader because guess what guys? I am revisiting the TekTopia mod, this time in survival instead of creative. So I logged onto this world and I have actually already found a village and the perfect biome for what I plan on doing. So if we just do a little hop over here, ta-da! We have a little acacia wood village with a desert, which is honestly so perfect. Which I know you guys are probably all like, but Nerdy, you love jungles and everything green. Why would you want to build in something that is arid and kind of desert-like? Well, the answer is I have a really weird idea that could end up looking really cool. So, for those of you who have never heard or seen the TekTopia mod, I, am going to leave some links down in the description to Tango's videos for them, because they're super cool and super interesting, and they really explain this way better than I will ever be able to explain it. And they're also really funny, so definitely go watch those. Links in the description, card up in the corner if I remember to do it. And it's honestly, it's like a complicated mod that you can simplify down to it makes the villagers really cool and they do things. So currently they're not doing anything, mainly because I stole the town hall, so all of their AI has just kind of shut down, and you guys can kind of see these little structures that I have poked around everywhere, and those are because I have villagers trapped inside of them. And currently they're not doing anything. They don't seem to be using up any hunger. None of them are taking damage. So this is really good because I've already had 2 die on cactuses of all things. And then there's only 4 farms and it's mostly wheat. So given the fact that I don't even have a baker, that's a problem. And I'm really worried about them starving to death. So currently they're all just going to stay in their little capsules until I have a really good village set up with really big farms, maybe like a backlog of food until they can get enough food to sustain themselves. You know, I don't want any of them to die anymore because I've already had those 2 die. So anyway, enough about the village itself as it is. I want to tell you about the village plan that I have, which, if we come down here, is honestly a little bit complicated, but also I think it'll end up being really cool. So the idea that I've had is kind of a biodome. So I have seen a bunch of other people do playthroughs of this, and they usually just do a typical little village, which they're honestly so cool, I love them. But I want to kind of stray away from that typical village and have something really funky. So I want to take and using this beautiful desert that so luckily for me spawned in really close, and I want to just decimate it so I can get all of the sand from it and kind of get rid of it. And then I want to turn all of that into glass and create a humongous glass dome that will cover this entire village setup. So for those of you who haven't seen Tango's videos, there's an edge to all of these villages. I can English. And this edge is like 100 and something blocks, maybe 200. So it's not terribly huge, but it's also not exactly small. So I want to actually take and be able to fit everything within this dome, which is kind of insane, but given my Let's Play series, you guys know that I really like big projects because apparently I like torturing myself. But the whole idea with this giant glass dome is this village is either the last settlement or the first settlement on a dead/dying planet. So if they're the first one, I haven't decided which one I want, by the way. Comment down below what you think I should do. But if they're the last one, then everything will be like dead, dying, maybe there's fires, just... it's really not a good situation outside. If they're the first, then I may have like tiny little sprouts of life starting, as if they're kind of coming in and saying, oh my gosh, it's dying, let's fix it, and like as if we're settling Mars or something. So that's kind of the basic idea for it. It's definitely going to be a lot more difficult than that once I start building, because, you know, I typically start the build and then get 100 more ideas. So basically what I want to do with this first episode, or episode 0 as I might call it, I don't know, depends on what I put on the video. So episode 1 or 0, I want to actually take and get myself settled, because currently this is everything I have. And one of them's just a book. So I have pretty much nothing. I do have a horse captured over here somewhere, but I honestly haven't even seen that many sheep or pigs or anything. So I definitely... Yep, here's my horse. Let's see. Can you get over the fence? Maybe. Come on, baby. There we go. Over the fence. And instantly stuck in a hole. I am the best rider around. But I seriously need to get myself set up with some food, some home, because currently I'm just kind of stealing the villagers' beds and horses and stuff. So I think what I want to do is actually take and, if I come park my horse, there we go. I'm gonna take and sleep really quick and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, sleep has been acquired. So what I actually want to do is kind of keep this landscape a little bit the same as it is. I don't want to do too much terraforming on the interior of the dome. I want it to look very much as if it's just natural and normal. So I will terraform over some of these holes after I get some stuff. Oh, creeper, I'm out. I'm so out. Not dealing with those. But I actually want to take, and if I can make... Dang it. Eventually I will get up this mountain, and then what I want to actually do is take and use this mountain as my starter base. That's scary. I'm out. I'm not very brave when I don't have armor. But I want to take and kind of create the mansion type district or very nice area of this town up here first. And that will be essentially my starter base and kind of just a start on the village, so that I can both be able to get myself settled, get myself a bed and everything, and start on the village at the same time. So I think what I'm eventually going to do is my actual base will not be within the dome. It's going to be outside in that arid, just desolate landscape. I want to take and create maybe like little outposts around, so it looks like they're exploring and they're trying to find new areas to inhabit, but they haven't found much yet. And those little outposts will be my home. So I think that'll end up looking really, really cool. I'm not entirely sure. Definitely comment down below, guys, what you think of this crazy idea that I've been having. And I definitely am super excited for this. So I think what I'm going to do really quick is do a jump cut to me clearing out this area a little bit, having something more than pretty much nothing, and, you know, just having a bit of a start here. Alright guys, it has been a couple of hours, and just to preface this, my throat is a little bit sore, so if I start sounding funky, it's just because of that. So, as you can tell, we have gotten quite a few diamonds. I actually have another pick as well, so each of these pickaxes and the bow have different enchantments. I got Fortune 3 with the Efficiency 4. I was so happy. I'm so sad I didn't record that. But definitely doing a lot better than we were. And I have also taken the time to create my first base. So it's not exactly the grandest abode, but you know, it's nice, it's little. We also have the noise pit where I can take and just breed these guys up, lure out the babies, fall in, and then take care of them once they're all grown up. So got plenty of food. I've taken and made a really simplistic tree farm over there that I've been going ham on. I also have a full enchantment set up with an anvil. My bed, of course, kind of the everything chest. If we go under it, we have the crafting table and the furnace. I also have a wood chest, an ores and rocks chest, a couple of different enchanting books, and a little bit from the nether. I bopped in there for a couple of seconds, so don't have much from there. I also have a very simple, little ledge right there. I also have a very simple sugarcane farm, and there's another portal. And then if we come down this way, I can show you guys my mine, which it's super simple, just staircase with stairs all the way down to bedrock. And I have taken a little bit of time, like 2 minutes, to decorate the bottom down here, which it's not horrible. It's not terrible. It's also not great, but you know, it's here. I also have myself a little crafting bench right here with a furnace up here, infinite water source. I've got a bunch of spare stone tools along with shovels, and then I do plan on filling these ones up with those as well. And then I have some spare wood, some, well, very few torches. I need to make some more of those. I also have some cobble, you know, hardly any. Oh my gosh, I keep hearing mobs. I think there's a cave, like, up in that direction, but I'm too scared to go explore it. I also have some precious ores right here, and then just kind of the excess other ores right there. So really simple, definitely could use some improvement, but I may end up using this for the final mine for the village. I may not as well, because I've also had the thought, ooh, that could make, speaking of mines and everything, so I've done a little bit of exploring, and I'm half thinking about putting this village on an ocean, just take and like run across with a lava bucket and turn everything to stone. But I didn't think about the mine, so that may actually just scrap that idea that I had. So if we get all the way up here, you guys can see there's this big ocean right here. And then if we get even higher, you guys can see that it does actually go out for quite a ways. And I was half thinking of going over and putting the village on top of that, but new revelations with just thinking about the mine, that idea is being scrapped. So that makes things a bit easier. I have another place that I was... that is the funniest thing. I hadn't seen that from right here. So as you guys can tell, there are some floating islands over there, which I do actually plan on semi-using. So I got thinking a little bit more about the dome and decided that I didn't really want the desert to be in it. And it's not because of like the terraforming or anything. It's because I want it to be surrounded by mountains, because that will, one, elevate the dome up a little bit. Oh, lovely skills right there. Anyway, it'll elevate the dome. It'll just kind of give it a border that it really does need. So if we come over here, this is the area that I was kind of thinking about for it, because it's actually really, really pretty. We've got this little like half bay area, and then there's some more islands over in this direction, and then we've got this thing along with these floating things, and then I think that's 2 blocks actually right there. Anyway, those exist. And then if we just stumble our way down this thing, I can show you guys that there's even more ocean over in this vicinity, which I kind of like. I kind of like the idea of having... Ooh, lag spike. I don't like the idea of a lag spike. I like the idea of having the mountains because it'll give me some, like, definite edges. And then this is just a really, really pretty area. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. So I think I actually want to move the entire thing over here. And the thing that I'm thinking about now is, so with this mod, one of the things that you have to do is take, and the borders of the village are also the spawning area for some of the different mobs. I've forgotten what that one was called. Maybe it's a sorcerer? Apparently I need to go rewatch Tango's videos. But, my brain. You have to have a little bit of an edge around it so that those guys don't spawn inside of your town and just wipe out all of your villagers. So I'm half thinking about actually shrinking the dome slightly, but I also had the idea of like a port. So this is lots of really weird ideas. I really like this seed because it is definitely making me think about how... Okay, more floating blocks. Anyway, it's making me think about how to re-terraform this to be an alien planet. And I think it might be cool to have the water still be water, but it's just like everyone's questioning it as much as I'm questioning what the heck this is. And like, oh my gosh, is it safe? Have like little testing areas around it to see, is it going to kill us? Can we use the water? Maybe there's like these super safe boats that you can put on them. Maybe there's like little outposts coming out of them. But I've also had the thought, so if you guys watch Hermitcraft, Iscal85 uses this thing called the fog effect. And I think I've seen Good Times with Scar and someone else use it. And it's really, really cool. It just essentially fogs up an area and makes it look kind of insubstantial and as if there's something behind it that you could totally hide. So I think I actually want to attempt to use that in this crazy landscape. Like, take and have, so the water's here, and then maybe I can go in and underneath the water put like netherrack and nether brick, so it's like the water's kind of steaming. Oh man, now I wish that 1.4, this was in 1.14, we could use campfires for like smoke. That could be interesting. Anyway, if this ever updates, that's a thought. But, oh man, the distractions and the ideas. So netherrack and, nether brick to make just the bottom of this ocean just look gross almost and unforgiving. Maybe include some, glowstone to give it that, like, this water is very questionable appearance. And then over on these areas where there's mountains, take and have some, oh, sun's going down, I need to get home, but take and have something that's very like end inspired. The landscape is kind of made out of end stone and just there's not much there. It's very barren, and then have cracks where there's different colors of fog effect coming up. So it's like the ground is splitting open or something. So I definitely have a ton of ideas on how this could go. But I'm not entirely sure. I kind of still want to go for the massive dome that entirely encircles all of it, and then have the enemy spawn on the inside of that. But I'm also liking the idea of having it slightly smaller and the enemies spawn on the outside, and maybe there's like some sort of port system for them to get in. I'm definitely going to have to go relook through some of the mod things, because I think if you have an entirely closed off fence, then they still spawn inside of that fence. So definitely tons and tons of ideas. But right now, I think what I actually want to do, besides going and sleeping, is pretty much just get rid of this village. Oh, whoa. That's an interesting glitch. Huh. Anyway, I want to take and just get rid of the village, take and get all of it gone, and kind of get a final count on how many villagers I have currently. Because I think, methinks in my head, that I have like 5 farmers, 2 lumberjacks, a knight, and something else. But I am not entirely sure, and he's not going to hurt them, is he? I hope he's not hurting my villagers. Anyway, oh my gosh, the distractions right now are so bad. Anyway, I think I'm going to take and do a quick jump cut to me having no more village and possibly using like some rails or something to get all of the villagers into one spot where I can take and protect them all equally so that we don't have husks going after them. He's gone. Okay, cool. So let's do that jump cut right now. Alright guys, the village has been entirely destroyed, and I have to say, although I'm slightly sad to see the village go, I am actually really happy because I got almost an entire double chest of mixed logs, stairs, and just normal wood planks. So we definitely have more than enough wood to last us for a while, hopefully. And then, of course, I still haven't gotten rid of these things right here, so there's probably at least 2 or 3 stacks. And then, for some reason, I didn't actually know this, apparently there's logs underneath the gravel. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if that's still a thing in 1.14. I don't know. But we have 1 farmer in the little hut over there, and then we've got 3 knights. I think there's 2 farmers and 3 lumberjacks in this one. So there was a couple of those little capsule things that I made that were empty. So I'm slightly concerned that they may still be taking damage. None of these guys have done anything except for 1 knight over there wants a bed. But none of the rest of them seem to be doing anything. Nothing weird has happened. I've left it for 2 or 3 Minecraft days. So I don't know if it's just I didn't make those little houses secure enough and zombies got in and hit them. And like turned them into zombies and then they despawned. So not entirely sure. Not super happy about the lack of villagers. The only struggle that I can see now, though, with them is just getting them from these up and over this. So that's definitely going to be a problem. I may just take them out that way. Not entirely sure. All I know for sure is boats won't work because apparently in 1.12 they don't float the same way as they did in 1.13. Fun fact for you guys. I didn't start hardcore playing Java Edition until just before 1.13 came out, so I have very limited knowledge of 1.12 mechanics, tips, tricks, all that sort of thing. So if I seem befuddled by things, now y'all know why. But I also did take a little bit of a trip into the Nether, and as you can see, I have gotten a little bit of quartz, and that is because I've had another little bit of a plan for that area over there. So I got thinking about the build palette, and originally I was going to do that whole like modern falling into ruins idea, but I had the thought, if they're at a planet that is obviously not Earth, do they have contact with Earth, and are they like continuously sending resources back and forth? Is this like a rocket that just got sent into deep space and this is some completely uncharted planet that we have no idea about? And I decided on the latter of the two, that this is nowhere near Earth. They have no contact with the people of Earth, which gives me a bit more freedom over what I can do build-wise with the outside, because instead of being restricted to planets within our solar system or that we know about, I can go hog wild and do whatever the heck I want, which kind of lends itself to the whole fog effect idea, which I'm really, really liking the whole plan with. So I think that's what I want to do. So I got thinking about, okay, so if they got launched into deep space, how would the spaceship be set up? How would the settlement happen? So the thought I had was the spaceship itself is the biodome. When it lands, it takes and sends out huge interconnecting glass panes that then will do some sort of shenanigans to like weld themselves together or create seals so that no air can get in between them, and then they like embed themselves in the ground so that, you know, nothing can get in, nothing can get out, which would help with the whole keeping oxygen in and everything. But that also is going to impact my build palette because they only had a limited amount of resources that they would be able to bring. So I think what I want to do is the central area, which will be the town hall, is actually going to be the hull of the spaceship. And maybe the storage system could be like the med bay or something along those lines. And then all of the buildings around it, instead of being made out of like quartz and iron blocks and that sort of thing like I was originally planning, they're going to be made out of wood, because these guys are taking and having to grow all of their resources within the dome. So I think that'll end up looking really, really cool. Maybe I can incorporate some prismarine and make it look like they're going out and scavenging across the surface to find some form of building material, and it's leading to them being able to make bits of land hover so that I can still have my 2 floating islands. So I think that'll look really, really epic. Unfortunately, though, that is all the time that I'll have for today. Oh, wait. I forgot to mention a thing. There was a thing I wanted to mention. Oh, yeah, I've been fishing, and I got a mending book. And Tango Tek, if you're watching, don't worry, it wasn't an AFK fish machine. It was just me fishing. So I've gotten 2 books so far. I want to keep going and get a total of, I think it was 10 mending books that I needed. But one of the unfortunate bits of this mod is, I think I mentioned it earlier, trading with villagers doesn't really happen. I don't know that much about the enchanter, so maybe I could get mending books from that. I have no idea. We'll have to definitely explore those options in the next episode, but guys, that is unfortunately all of the time that I have for this episode. It was a ton of fun to record, and I have to say, I am super happy with the progress that we've made. I definitely love just starting up a new world, get a starter base going and all that stuff. So I guess if you liked the video, please drop a like, comment down below what sort of ideas that you have for this crazy planet and biodome idea, if you have any. And then subscribe to see more of my content, and of course help support my channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Nerdy out!